Okay, so here's something wild. By the time most people hit their 70s, they've lost about 30% of their muscle mass compared to their younger selves. That's not just about strength, it's about mobility, independence, and even survival. Today, we're diving into how one tiny amino acid, leucine, might hold the key to slowing that process down. That's such a striking statistic. Muscle loss or sarcopenia is one of those things that sneaks up on people as they age, but it has huge implications for health and quality of life. And what's fascinating is how leucine, this one amino acid, seems to play such a pivotal role in muscle protein synthesis. It's like a biochemical switch that can turn on the machinery for building muscle. Exactly. And what's really interesting is that leucine isn't just important for older adults. We've talked before about how it's used in neonatal care to help premature babies overcome anabolic resistance. Now, we're looking at the other end of the lifespan, and the parallels are fascinating. It's like leucine is this universal key that works across all ages. That's such a great way to put it. The study we're focusing on today really digs into this idea. It's a 2012 paper by Casperson and colleagues published in Clinical Nutrition. The researchers wanted to see if supplementing meals with leucine could help older adults overcome anabolic resistance and improve muscle protein synthesis. Right, and anabolic resistance is such a critical concept here. As people age, their muscles become less responsive to smaller protein meals, especially meals with less than 15 to 20 grams of protein. So even if they're eating what seems like a reasonable amount of protein, their bodies aren't using it efficiently to build or maintain muscle. Exactly. And that inefficiency is a big part of why older adults are at such high risk for sarcopenia. The researchers in this study wanted to see if adding leucine to meals could essentially train the muscles to respond better to protein. They recruited healthy older adults who were already consuming protein at or near the current recommended dietary allowance, which is about 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight per day. So they weren't looking at people who were protein deficient, they were looking at people who were already meeting the basic recommendations. That's an important distinction because it shows that this isn't just about eating more protein, it's about making the protein you're already eating work harder for you. Exactly. Over a 2-week period, the participants were given 4 grams of leucine with 3 of their daily meals. The researchers then measured their mixed muscle fractional synthesis rate, or FSR, both before and after a small simulated low protein and carbohydrate meal. And what did they find? Did the leucine supplementation actually make a difference? It did, and the results were pretty remarkable. After 2 weeks of leucine supplementation, the participants showed a significant increase in their post-absorptive or fasting muscle protein synthesis. Even more importantly, their anabolic response to the small simulated meal was significantly enhanced as well. That's incredible. It's like the leucine was reprogramming their muscles to be more efficient. Did the researchers dig into the mechanisms behind this? They did, and what they found was fascinating. The leucine supplementation led to increased nutrient signaling, specifically through key pathways like mTOR, 4E-BP1, and P70S6K1. These are the molecular players that drive muscle protein synthesis. Essentially, the leucine was amplifying the body's ability to use protein more effectively. That's so interesting, but I have to wonder, did they see any actual changes in muscle mass during the study? Not in this particular study. It was only a 2-week intervention, so there wasn't enough time to observe changes in lean or fat-free mass. However, the researchers did some calculations and estimated that the sustained metabolic improvements could theoretically lead to about a 4% increase in muscle mass over time, assuming muscle breakdown remains unchanged. That's still a big deal. Even a modest increase in muscle mass can have a huge impact on an older adult's quality of life. It's like giving their metabolic engine a tune up so it runs more efficiently. Exactly. And what's so exciting about this study is that it shows how targeted nutritional interventions can make a meaningful difference, even in populations that are typically harder to reach, like older adults. It's a reminder that nutrition isn't just about meeting basic needs, it's about optimizing how our bodies function. And it's not just about the science, it's about the real world implications. Sarcopenia is a major risk factor for falls, fractures, and loss of independence in older adults. If something as simple as leucine supplementation can help mitigate that, it's a game changer. Absolutely. And I think it also underscores the importance of looking at nutrition through a lifespan lens. The needs of our bodies change as we age, and understanding those changes can help us make better choices for our health at every stage of life. What really strikes me is how leucine seems to act as this universal key for muscle health. Whether you're talking about premature babies or older adults, it's the same mechanism, the mTOR pathway that's being activated. It's almost poetic in a way. It really is. Leucine's role as a trigger for the mTOR pathway makes it a critical player in muscle health. And what's so exciting about this study is that it shows how targeted nutritional interventions can make a meaningful difference, even in populations that are typically harder to reach, like older adults. Well, this has been such an enlightening conversation. I feel like we've only scratched the surface of what leucine can do, but it's clear that it has immense potential. Thank you for breaking it all down so clearly. My pleasure. It's always a joy to dive into topics like this and explore the science behind them. All right, that's all for today. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.